Maybe no one ever said the words out loud, maybe they didn't have to. Maybe the silence was enough. The sighs, the subtle dismissals, the way your needs always seemed like an inconvenience. Maybe you learned early on that being quiet made things easier. That shrinking yourself kept the peace. That the safest way to be loved was to be small. So you carried this idea into every room, every relationship, every moment of pain, the idea that you are too much. Too emotional. Too intense. Too needy. Too sensitive. And now, even when someone says you're not a burden, it's hard to believe them. Because the story lives so deep in your bones, it feels like truth. But it isn't. It never was. You are not too much, you were just made to believe that your softness was a problem. And it wasn't. It isn't. You are allowed to exist without apologizing for how deeply you feel. You are allowed to need things: rest, reassurance, connection, space to breathe, and still be worthy of love. Your needs do not make you difficult. Your emotions do not make you a burden. Your presence is not something others have to tolerate, it is something that deserves to be embraced. You don't have to earn the right to be here. You already belong. Say it softly with me: I am not too much. Say it again: I am allowed to take up space. You don't need to make yourself smaller to be accepted. You don't need to disappear to be cared for. You, as you are, in your full, beautiful, complex humanity, are not too much. You are enough. And you always were. Let that truth land. Let it be louder than the old stories. Let it be the beginning of coming back to yourself, fully, unapologetically, and with love. Somewhere along the way, you were taught that needing support made you difficult. That asking for help was something to be ashamed of. That showing emotion, asking for reassurance, needing space to fall apart, all of it made you inconvenient, messy, hard to love. Maybe it wasn't said outright. Maybe it was the way people pulled away when you were vulnerable. The way your pain was ignored, or minimized, or met with impatience. You learned to translate those responses into a story: if I need too much, they'll leave. And so, you stayed quiet. You swallowed your pain. You became the caretaker, the peacemaker, the one who didn't ask for anything because you thought that's what love required: silence, sacrifice, strength without softness. But that version of love was never real. Love is not something you're supposed to earn by disappearing. Love is not something that only shows up when you're easy. Love is not a reward for performing emotional perfection. You don't have to keep living by those rules anymore. You don't have to keep proving you're worthy by staying quiet about your needs. The truth is, your needs are valid. All of them. The need to be heard. The need to be seen. The need to be comforted. The need to rest. You are not a burden because you feel deeply or because you ask for connection when you feel alone. Needing others does not make you weak. In fact, it makes you brave enough to admit that we're all wired for connection, and pretending you don't need anyone only makes the loneliness louder. Say it to yourself tonight, like you're speaking to the version of you that's still afraid to be seen: my needs are valid. Say, asking for help does not make me weak. Let those words sink in. Let them replace the old stories. Let them be the foundation of a new truth, one where love does not require silence, and worth does not require pain. You don't need to earn your right to exist. You don't need to wait until you're healed, productive, positive, or emotionally composed to deserve presence, attention, or love. You are allowed to be seen as you are, even in the messy middle, even in the days when you're not sure who you are or where you're going. You are still worthy of being witnessed, of being cared for, of being held emotionally, mentally, and gently. Somewhere along the way, many of us learned that we had to perform wellness to be worthy of love, that we had to be helpful, cheerful, impressive, or strong to keep our place in people's hearts. But that's not true connection. That's survival. And you deserve more than survival. You deserve to belong in your full humanity, not just when you're thriving, but especially when you're struggling. You are not less lovable when you're tired, quiet, grieving, or unsure. You still matter. You always have. So let this be your permission to release the guilt you feel when you let someone see the unpolished parts of you. Let this be the moment you start practicing receiving, not just when you've earned it, but simply because you're human. Let yourself take in the love, the care, the softness that others want to offer, without apologizing or shrinking to make it easier for them. You don't have to be easy to love to be worthy of it. Say it softly to yourself, I am allowed to be seen. Say it again, louder this time, I matter even when I'm struggling. Because you do. The version of you that is hurting still belongs. The version of you that doesn't have it together is still enough. You don't have to keep hiding behind smiles and composure. You're not here to be perfect, you're here to be real. And your realness is what makes you beautiful. Let yourself be seen. Let yourself belong. All of you. Always. Guilt has a quiet way of wrapping itself around your thoughts, especially at night, when everything feels a little more tender, a little more exposed. It convinces you that your presence is too heavy, that your emotions are too inconvenient, that your silence, your distance, your pain somehow makes you unworthy of love or care. You replay the moments when you felt too much, when someone sighed just a little too loudly, when someone didn't text back, and suddenly it spirals into I'm the problem. But listen to me, you are not a burden. Feeling things deeply doesn't make you hard to love. Needing rest doesn't make you selfish. Wanting space to breathe doesn't make you weak. You are not required to carry everything in silence to be accepted. You're allowed to let the weight go. Even if just for tonight. Even if only for a few breaths. Let go of the belief that you have to be strong all the time. You were never meant to hold everything alone. So breathe with me now, slowly, gently. Inhale through your nose, hold for a moment, and exhale through your mouth. Imagine that every breath out is a soft release. Picture the guilt leaving your body, one breath at a time. The tightness loosening. The weight lifting. You are allowed to rest. You are safe to be soft here. Say it to yourself like a lullaby, I am safe to rest now. Say it again, I don't have to carry everything alone. Let those words hold you the way no one ever did when you were younger, when you were scared, when you thought you had to be the strong one. This moment is yours. It doesn't require anything from you. Just your breath. Just your truth. Just your willingness to let go, one breath at a time. You deserve peace, not because you've earned it, but because you're alive. And that alone is enough. You've carried so much today, maybe not physically, maybe not in ways anyone else could see, but internally, emotionally, energetically, you've been holding more than your share. And I want you to know, as you settle into this quiet space, that you don't need to carry the weight of proving your worth anymore. You are worthy because you are. Not because of what you've done, not because of how strong you've been, and not because you've managed to hold it together. You are worthy in your softness, in your uncertainty, in your undone moments. Even in the silence, especially in the silence, you are still enough. Your presence is not a burden. Your feelings are not too much. Your existence does not require justification. Right now, in this very breath, you are deserving of rest, of love, of gentleness. You are allowed to let go. You are allowed to be held, not just by others, but by the truth that you never had to do it all alone. So as you prepare to rest, let this truth settle into your heart like a quiet lullaby. You are not a burden. You never were. You are loved. You are enough. You don't have to overthink that. You don't have to debate it or earn it or wrestle with it tonight. Just let it be. Let it wrap around you. Let it soften the edges of your day. Because no matter how loud your thoughts have been or how heavy your heart feels, this truth does not change. You are still worthy. You are still needed. You are still good. Let that be the voice you fall asleep to, the one that doesn't ask anything of you except to simply be. You've done enough. You've survived enough. Now, it's time to rest deeply, safely, and without guilt. Let the night hold you. Let peace find you. And when you wake, remember that truth will still be here, waiting.